exactly do I want to start with? First of all, I'll start with this. I did not know what to expect when it okay, I'm gonna start that over. So for today, we're gonna basically be talking about Ghost of Tsushima and my experience with it, and why I consider it to be a masterpiece in my opinion. So to start off with, I do have experience with Sucker Punch's other games and franchises such as Sly Cooper and Infamous. I really like Sly Cooper Infamous. I thought the Sly Cooper series was super good, and I honestly think it's kind of underrated in most people's minds today because most people don't even know of it, or they just kind of dismiss it because of, it's a raccoon thief and stuff like that. But I thought the Sly Cooper series is actually really good, especially the third game. I know a lot of people think that the second game is the best, but for me, I really love the third game, but the second game is amazing as well. Don't get me wrong. The second game is the reason why the third game was even all that great. But I digress. And then from Sly Cooper, we got the Infamous series. And the Infamous series is another masterpiece on its own that we'll talk about one day. But Infamous 2 is in my top 5 best games of all time. I will say that. And Ghost of Tsushima is also in my top 5 games of all time. So, Ghost of Tsushima, when it was revealed, I won't lie, I was a little disappointed about it. Because I honestly wanted another Infamous from Sucker Punch. I didn't know how to feel about them switching to a whole new IP or franchise, starting a whole new IP. But I was willing to give it a shot. Did I just hear an archer? I think I'm imagining things. But I was willing to give this game a shot because it had a really cool concept, the whole idea of samurais and stuff like that. That's cool to me. And more of the stuff that they showed from like the E3 presentations to the Game Awards trailer, it got me more and more excited for the game. And I was honestly kind of thinking like, they did great with Sly Cooper. They did great with Infamous. Why am I not hyped for this game? So I started to get really hyped for this game. And then it came out. And I didn't get a chance to play it because I was kind of busy in life at that time when it came out. I ended up not playing it for probably about 5 months until after it released. I want to say it was around the winter of the year it released. Because it came out in the middle of summer. I think it came out in June or July. And I know I didn't start playing it, or I didn't pick it up for myself until December or November, somewhere around there. So, when I opened the game up, I already seen some playthroughs on YouTube, so I kind of knew what to expect. But even though I already kind of knew what to expect and I already knew some of the plot, especially some of the more crazy plot points, it did not distract from the experience for me at all. I thought it was just around this time that this game came out, I was kind of in a gaming rut, if you want to call it that. I was getting bored by a lot of games. I didn't really find most games entertaining. It was just kind of like at that point where I was just like, what's the point of even playing games anymore? Like it's just wasting time. I could be doing something else instead that's more entertaining for me, or something that's more beneficial for me. So I was just kind of like, that's the kind of point I was at when, before Ghost of Tsushima. But Ghost of Tsushima completely revitalized my love for games. And I won't lie, it was a little sad to be at that point when it comes to gaming because gaming had been a huge part of my life. I've been gaming since I was a little kid. I've played so many different games, like my Game Boy collection, my PS2 collection. It was crazy to say the least, but yeah, so it was kind of disappointing to be at that state when it came to video games. And I had recently gotten out of that state for a little bit with another Sony exclusive game, Spider-Man PS4, which came out 2 years before Ghost of Tsushima. But Spider-Man PS4, for as amazing as it wasn't able to completely take me out of that feeling of, games are just boring nowadays. Like most games are just meh. There's just you've seen it once before, and you don't really get that new feeling from games. Like it just kind of felt like it's just a game with a different skin. That's just kind of how I felt about everything. Which is kind of funny to say that because most people would say that Ghost of Tsushima is an Assassin's Creed game with just a different skin on it. And there's definitely similarities. I can see why people say that, but just the way this game presents everything is on a whole different level from the Assassin's Creed games. And I mean, just look at this. Look how amazing this looks. And this is on a base. This is running on a base PS4. The fact that they were able to get this graphic fidelity off a base PS4 is amazing to me. Like the game runs smooth. I mean, it runs at 30 frames. It's not 60 frames or anything, but it still looks amazing. Just the ambience, just the atmosphere of this game looks amazing. Sucker Punch knocked it out of the park when it comes to the environment. They completely knocked it out of the park when it comes to the environment. But back to what I was saying. So when I first started playing Ghost of Tsushima, despite me already knowing and kind of getting a feel for the game from playthroughs and Twitch streams, I still got completely immersed into this game. This game completely took me by storm. Anytime I would stop playing, I'd want to start playing right again. Like, I'd play like for 2 hours or something like that, an hour, drop the game, go do something else. The entire time I'd just be thinking, man, I want to go back and keep playing Ghost of Tsushima. There was that one side mission, there was something, that one camp I wanted to clear out. There was the main mission, the main storyline. Like it was all exciting. And yes, Ghost of Tsushima doesn't really do anything exciting, or not exciting. Ghost of Tsushima doesn't do anything revolutionary in terms of gaming. Most of the stuff they do in here, such as like collecting supplies, like I'm doing right now, or the storyline itself, it's all stuff we've kind of seen before. But just the way it's presented, the way it's all packaged together, I think is what really makes it amazing. It's a sum greater than its parts. That's exactly the best way to describe this game. And the Assassin's Creed comparison from earlier, yes, it does have quite a bit of stuff that the Assassin's Creed franchise does as well. It has a lot of similarities to it. But just the way that this game presents it and the way that Sucker Punch kind of packaged everything to work with each other, I think just sets it on a completely different level than any other Assassin's Creed game or even any other open world games. But yeah, Ghost of Tsushima by far completely revitalized my love for gaming. And ever since I've played Ghost of Tsushima, I haven't fallen into that rut of thinking that games are kind of boring. Like every game I've played after Ghost of Tsushima, I've enjoyed. I've enjoyed, and I've also appreciated all their different little components or stuff that I wouldn't have probably noticed before. Because like this game, this is one of the few, if not the only game where it honestly kind of makes me just like stop for a little bit and just appreciate the environment or appreciate like just the little intricacies about it. Like like the stuff, like just even Jin's armor, like looking at the design of it and seeing all the little knickknacks or seeing all the little things about it, like the rope across his chest or the two kunai that are strapped to his chest, or seeing how the mask works and seeing how it's connected to his ears or stuff like just seeing all these little designs or looking at the atmosphere, the environment, seeing the fog, the lighting, how it interacts with the trees, how it looks on his armor, how it's reflecting off him. Just this is a beautiful looking game. And the combat system in this game is extremely fun as well. Is it revolutionary? No. I don't think there's anything in the combat system that I would say is revolutionary. I feel like you could probably find most of the stuff in the combat system of this game from other stuff as well. Probably like the stances you can find in Neo, your weapon selection you can find that in almost any other game. Um, yeah, I don't think they have anything super crazy that's like, whoa, this completely changes the combat. Like, I mean, they have standoffs, The standoffs are cool and everything, but I wouldn't say it's revolutionary. It doesn't completely change the combat style of this game, but it's just the way it's all packaged together, the way it all comes together. It's just something on a different level, in my opinion. I think Ghost of Tsushima is a game I would say that if anyone wants to enjoy some of the peaks or some of the greatest games of all time, I think Ghost of Tsushima needs to be added to that list because this game is just simply on a different level to other games. Just when you combine everything, if you're comparing like gameplay or combat, just that, sure there are some games that probably beat it, but when you combine everything together, you're going to be hard pressed to really find any other games that can match up to Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, just look at this. Look at this. Look how cool this looks. You truly get like a cinematic experience with almost every single fight in this game. I mean, I don't know if anyone has ever seen the... Oh, this guy's running. I don't know if anyone's seen the stuff that Sunheat Legend on Twitter has done with Ghost of Tsushima, but it's crazy just how cinematic this game can look. And I know I'm going on and on about the look and the atmosphere of the game, but that's that stuff sets it apart. Yes, the gameplay is also very important, and the gameplay of Ghost of Tsushima is amazing as well with the stealth combat and just the normal combat system itself. And the gameplay loop of Ghost of Tsushima is super amazing. Like, yes, you're just going around fighting guys constantly, but every single fight is almost entirely different the way you can go about it. There's enough options in here to keep the player entertained and wanting to come back more. And in the story itself, yes, the story can be a little predictable and you can kind of see where it's going most of the time, but the characters, the voice acting, it all comes together in a super neat package that just works. It just works. It's simple as that. It works. And that's, I mean, you can't argue with that. If it works, it works. Simple as that. I think Ghost of Tsushima is truly one of the greatest games of all time. I would even say it's in the top 10. It's just one of those games that, once it once you get into it, you are into it. It completely immerses you into this experience of Jinsakai and his story as you work to save his island from the Mongols, and as you slowly and surely become the ghost. And then there's just so many great moments in the story as well, such as the Yarikawa moment, where the ghost truly becomes the ghost. Jinsakai dies at Yarikawa. That's where the ghost, in my opinion, truly comes to life. And I mean, yeah, Jin doesn't actually die at Yarikawa, but in my opinion, Jinsakai that his uncle wanted him to become, that his father wanted him to become, dies in Yarikawa, and Jinsakai becomes or resurrects into what he needs to be, or what the island needs, in the ghost. And it's such an amazing story. Just the moments you feel, the emotions this game makes you feel with some of the characters as well. Such as Taka and what happens to him in the story. And then all the little side missions, the side missions. Sure, the side missions are just kind of, none of them really bring any new gameplay factors into the equation, but they're still, the side missions still are very entertaining to go through, and it's like, huh, you get to see these little pockets of like other people's lives and what else is going on in Tsushima, and it kind of helps bring the island to life, so it doesn't feel like just a big desolate island. There's life all around. I just got hit by an arrow. There's life all around. Ugh. It just helps it feel less of a game and more of an experience. That I think that's just the best. I've probably said it like 3 times already, but I truly think that's just the best way to explain how this game just works. It's not a game, it's an experience, and great one at that. As a video game, it's amazing. As an experience, it's just on another level. It really is. And I do not hesitate to say that. So that's why I think Ghost of Tsushima, by far, is a masterpiece that is definitely going to stand the test of time. And I'm excited to see where Sucker Punch takes the sequel. I'm pretty sure I'm about to die here. Oh, nope, I'm still alive. I ran into the fire and died. But yeah, that's how I feel about Ghost of Tsushima. It's a masterpiece that I think everyone should try to experience at least once, and I'm super excited for the sequel, and I can't wait to see what else is in store for this franchise because I think this is truly a diamond that Sucker Punch has created, and I hope other people feel about it that way as well. But other than that, I hope you guys appreciate this little video essay on my feelings about Ghost of Tsushima and how it affected me and my gaming experience. And I hope to see you all again.